And let's go over those again.
So 2 years W-2s, 2 years tax returns, 1 month of pay stubs, 2 months of bank statements. Now, on the bank statements, we want to make sure that there are no large deposits, and large deposits consist of pretty much 25% or more of your average paycheck. So, if you get paid $1,000 and you make a deposit of $300, we're going to ask where that was from. We're going to ask you to source it, and we're going to ask you to write a letter of explanation explaining where and how you received that money.
Okay, so any large chunks of money in the prior 2 months before you go get involved in the loan process,
Mm-hmm.
you will need to provide a letter of explanation. And what's the reason behind that?
Well, right now there's this big anti-money laundering push, so anti-terror and all that stuff. So we just want to make sure that the funds are actually yours, that you haven't acquired them from any terrorist activity or any money laundering schemes, and that's actually required by law. Bank of America is not doing it just because we don't like you, or because we don't we want to know your personal information. We are actually required to ask that information, and required by law.
If a person is using gift funds on their first home purchase, which is very, very typical, should they expect to come in with the source of that gift fund, how much it was, and when it was deposited into their bank account then?
So, with gift funds, we're going to ask who the donor is, and it has to be a relative of the borrower. So, um, usually, let's say the parents give the son, $10,000 as a gift. They're going to ask where it came from. They're going to ask for a receipt of the wire, and or if it was sent via wire, then we're going to ask for the copy of the wire transfer form, and also the bank statement showing that the wire has actually come into the account. They're going to ask for a copy of a cashier's check if the cashier's check was issued. Um, and then they're also going to ask for the donor's bank statement. That's really key because a lot of donors don't want to provide that information because it is their personal life in that bank statement, and they may feel violated. But unfortunately, we need to know where that money came from. Um, I don't think it's the end. I do think it may fall a little bit. I don't think it's gonna fall quite as much as it did, but I don't think there's ever gonna be a bottom. I think it's gonna do really a roller coaster ride where we'll go up a couple percent, come down a couple percent, and just do that consistently.
What makes this a good time to buy a home? Or is it a good time?
I think it is a good time. You're gonna see a lot of houses on the market that have been foreclosed or are short sales. So basically, it's home on sale, pretty much. Um, I don't think it's the end. I do think it may fall a little bit. I don't think it's gonna fall quite as much as it did, but I don't think there's ever gonna be a bottom. I think it's gonna do really a roller coaster ride where we'll go up a couple percent, come down a couple percent, and just do that consistently.
What makes this a good time to buy a home? Or is it a good time?
I think it is a good time. You're gonna see a lot of houses on the market that have been foreclosed or are short sales. So basically, it's home on sale, pretty much. Typically, no. We're not really prejudiced upon relationships. If you've had a relationship with Bank of America, I mean, that's great, but we don't require it. One important piece is that there's been some speculation that the FHA loan limit may decrease back to the 417 that conforming is right now. Right now, there's the median between conforming and jumbo, which is some people call it the super conforming or high balance. Whatever you want to call it, it goes up to 567.5 right now. And you can avoid jumbo pricing. However, it is slightly higher than the conforming pricing, but that may go away come September.
Is that something people would consider waiting? Obviously, it's not a good idea to wait for that to happen, but is that something people should consider right now as opposed to waiting?
Definitely. You want to, you probably want to jump on that as soon as possible, because if you go, come September, if that goes away, if that amount goes away, then you're stuck with a jumbo pricing loan, and if you're over $417,000 on your loan. However, jumbo pricing has come down a bit, but it's still not as great as the conforming pricing.
So, anybody interested in a home valued a little bit higher than the median home price should get off the fence.
Yes.
It's time to get off the fence.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's helpful.